Hey, this is Ebube Olivia Akueme, and I'm coming to you live from Kent in the UK. How are you today? I hope you're well and you're good and you're having an absolutely fantastic Wednesday. I'm a little bit tired. It's been a full day for me, but it's been good. But yes, I hope you're well and you're good wherever you are. Today, I'm touching on something that I often talk about. I remember starting my Facebook lives on this kind of area side of life, side of things, and that is on relationships, of course. And so today is, do you know the 3 things that matter in any relationship at all? Any relationship. It doesn't really matter whether we're talking about, parenting, or whether we're talking about spousal, or whether we're talking about at work, colleagues. It doesn't really matter. Wherever you have any form of human interaction, that is exactly where I am talking about. That's exactly where I'm referring to. So today I'm going to be sharing 3 things that are very, very essential when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to, where you have your human interactions. And it's just a question of, paying more attention to some of these things that, you do. Okay, number 1, patience. It's about patience. Patience, as we know, is essential. Why? Because it just means that you're not agitated, you don't get upset, you don't get cross, you don't have any negative sort of like feeling when somebody in the relationship is not acting according to how you think or you feel they should act. So it's all about having that, spirit, let me call it that way, of patience. Patience is very, very key, because there are many things to gain, actually, whilst you're being patient with the other person in the relationship. Sometimes some people don't understand, where you're coming from. So there can be misunderstandings, there can be all sort of things that are going on, different factors and stuffs like that in the relationship. But having the ability to be patient, having the ability to not necessarily accepting the other person's maybe behaviors, attitudes, things like that, but looking at the bigger picture of the relationship and having that patience towards them, to wait until you see some level of turnaround from their point is very good. I think a very good example will be as a parent. A lot of moms would say that this is one area where they find kind of like challenging, because, sometimes you want the kids to do something, or you want them to go in this way, but the kids are bent on going the other way. And sometimes you're teaching them to do certain things. This might be like life habits, there might be health habits, there might be behavioral habits, there might be, things that you're sort of like, showing the kids and teaching them, this is how to do things, and they don't. For instance, I can give an example of a very good friend of mine who has this issue with her daughter, trying to, teach her daughter when it comes to spending money. And of course, this is an area where as parents, we should all be teaching our children, the right way to spend money, the right way to handle money. When it comes to handling money, this is what you're meant to do. You're meant to put aside this amount of money, and then you can spend this amount of money and all of that. But her daughter doesn't often listen to her. But she's very, trying to be patient in that process. And sometimes, to be honest, it's not easy. However, patience, as I always say, is bitter, but the fruits, is sweet. So this is one area where we're all encouraged. You are encouraged. I'm encouraged. We're all encouraged to just, sort of like persist. We have to persist in being patient towards the other person in the relationship. Number 2, forgiveness. Oh, you didn't think I was going to say that? Yes, forgiveness is a big deal. It's a big deal because, it's a topic on its own, really. If we were, go into this conversation of forgiveness, we can be here for the next, like 24 hours, and we're still, going on about forgiveness. But basically, it's not, again, accepting or saying that I agree to, or you agree to, the wrong that was done, but living beyond it, going past that that has been done or has been said, towards yourself. There is no way that you can be in, any form of human interaction, any form of relationship, friends, marital, parental, business, colleagues, work, whatever, church, community, without always having somebody do or say something that rubs you the wrong way. So, forgiveness is very important. Not like you don't know. I'm sure you know. You definitely know. But I think sometimes people don't realize why and how. And maybe that's the conversation we need to have more often, is the why and how of forgiveness. And the first thing is to understand that you don't want anything that would rob you of your own peace, whereby whenever you think about that person or whenever it has anything to do with that person, you're agitated. Now, that's not a good place to be. So forgiveness is, a place and a state of mind and an attitude and a behavior that we ourselves need to develop in all our human interactions, all, with the exception of none. It's very, very essential. So if you're just tuning in today, you are welcome. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday wherever you are. I know that the UK is now an hour behind some other places all over the world, but I hope you're having a good time in whatever that you're doing. Today, I'm talking about, I'm asking the question, if you know the three things that matter in any relationship. And when I talk about any relationship, I'm talking about any relationship, basically, wherever you have any level or form of human interaction, that is the area I'm talking about. So whether as a parent, as a spouse, work colleague, business associate, community member, whatever it might be, it doesn't really matter. Now, the first one I mentioned is the ability to be patient towards people, because sometimes people will often try you, they will test you through their words, they will test you through behavior, they will test you in every shape and form possible. One thing you have to understand sometimes is that this thing called personal development is very important and very essential, because the more people test you, it's an opportunity for you to develop that muscle of maturity. One of it being patience towards people. It's never always easy, and patience is very bitter. It's very, very bitter. However, the fruits of patience is the opposite. It's very sweet. It's very desirable, but it's a journey, and it's not necessarily something that you can accomplish overnight, but it's something that eventually, if you keep on practicing patience towards people, be it your spouse, your children, your work colleagues, your business associates, your community people, whatever, church members, whatever, eventually you begin to reap those fruits. Okay, so patience is not like forgiveness, which is my number 2 point, is not about accepting what people do or say, but it is your own attitude in that particular situation. So the first one is patience, the second one is forgiveness. Forgiveness, of course, is the ability to go beyond, the ability to release, the ability to go, look, you did this, you said this, and I could do the same back to you, but I choose not to. That's what forgiveness is. And then forgiveness is also restorative. I say restorative because it looks at the whole picture of the relationship and focuses on the relationship as opposed to the thing that was said or done, and trying to go beyond it. So the two things I've mentioned, one is patience, the second one is forgiveness, are things that are essential in any relationship, are essential. And why I say that is, you never know who is going to say, who is going to do things towards you. You never know when you would need to be patient towards somebody. And you never know when somebody is going to say or do things to you that requires you to forgive. So today is more about your attitude and responses in certain situations, especially the ones that are very frequent in all of our human interactions, our relationships, than anything else. my point number 3 is support. People often and always will need your support. And one thing that is important is supporting people even when they haven't asked you to. So it's being proactive in the process. So apart from being patient and apart from being forgiving, one other area is actually supporting people, learning how to be there for people, learning how to support them, to help them progress in any area. It could be in their health, it could be in their finances, it could be in their work, their career, it could be in their own relationships as well, and in their spirituality. As long as you're adding value and you're bringing some level of progress or helping them to progress in one area or the other, that is what is essential in the relationship. After all, people want to associate with people who bring value to them. And one way we can bring value to our relationships is by supporting people in our relationships, our children, our spouses, friends, and so on and so forth. And even when you're not asked, that's fine. But when you're asked, and especially when you're asked, as much as you can, do the much that you can. I'm going to stop there for now. To remember that 3 things that are essential in any relationship: patience, forgiveness, and support, would never go away. Never would it go away. So keep on being patient towards people. You always need to be patient. It's never going to go away. Keep on being forgiving towards people. Again, it's never going to go away. And keep on being supporting and supportive towards people, because it's always going to be needed. Until next time, my friends, take care and continue to be better. See you next Wednesday. Bye.